Spawning down in the bottom right position of Lightshade. It is a Freak of Freaks Trap in the red. And his opponent spawning up in the top left. It is representing Ents, the finisher, Serral, in the blue. And he is a prodigious talent, one of the GOATs, if not the GOAT of SC2. Such a strong player. And really, he needs no introduction, but he has more than earned one. By the way, we're going to be seeing a hatch block coming out of Trap. Serral, not even going to mess around, going to go for the 17 hatch at that third base, the pocket third, which on Lightshade always does keep the option of a Queen Walk build very much alive. You got to be very mindful about that. That's something you cannot disregard as the Protoss player. And if you do, well, oftentimes you're going to get bopped, especially if you open Stargate. Now, Twilight Council builds are still a thing. They're still good. But Stargate has really been dominating the meta for the last while. With good reason. It's been incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful, very difficult to deal with. Now, already this probe actually taking a little bit of hull damage right there as it tries to harass. Good job from Serral to keep that from being too much of a nuisance. Keep that from, really disrupting him. Anytime your opponent starts, getting really annoying with the harass, just do what Serral's doing right here. Pull a drone, get on top of it, and say, hey, stop doing that. Use their little mandibles, their little claws. They look like crabs, don't they? I don't think I would want to eat, Actually, if you dipped a drone in warm butter, well, maybe that'd be pretty tasty. Who knows? For now, though, going to be a standard opening from both players. And with the delay of that warp gate, going to be that Stargate play coming out of Trap. Yeah, there it is. Goes on down at a nice quick timing here. Chrono boosting the first Adept, but not going to be saving up Chrono Boost for that second one. Electing to go straight up into additional probe production. Will have the next Nexus completing, and in theory he can Chrono Boost, but nope, going to be more into probes. Personally, I prefer that. Serral, he is going to be one of those players, unlike myself, that actually notices that his opponent was chronoing the Nexus, and is like, okay, my opponent's, focusing on probes. And it's good to know that. By the way, we've got Trap hiding this Adept, and Serral wants to run in with the Zergling, but he needs to know where his opponent's Adept is before he's going to try something like that. And Trap is actually looking... Look at that. He's hunting for that Ling. He's really hunting for it. And actually, instead of using the Adept to scout, he uses the probe, which is kind of a cool little adjustment from Trap. A lot of mind games going down here. Normally, you send that first Adept out across the map to try and get some scouting done. Now he actually will send these Adepts out, but it's going to be double Adept, well past the normal early scouting time. He keeps the probe on the wall, does not want to let this individual Zergling get on into the main base. And that's good. That's good that he's doing that. Serral going to be building extra links to try and deal with these Adepts. And he should, yeah, he's got enough. He's got plenty to deal with this. Oh, Trap actually going to commit in with the Adepts, and he might lose these right here, right now. If he doesn't have a recall available, they are dead for very little gain. Ooh, nice job from Serral. Preventing the kind of escape from this Adept. It will get an additional Zergling there. 4 Zerglings for 2 Adepts, though. That is always good for the Zerg player. It was Void Ray into Oracle. And Trap, he's going to have a bit of an awkward time holding this base, but no, there's not enough links to cancel it. May be forced to use the Oracle's Revelation, or sorry, not Revelation, Pulsar Cannon, but no, he's not going to have to do that. Serral just going to be droning behind us. We've got +1 air weapons coming in for Trap. Worker count is currently even. Serral seeing that +1 air weapons. He sees this spinning. That is excellent information for him. And it is going to be a double Stargate build out of Trap. Now, will Serral elect to go for a Queen Walk build here? It's very much still on the table. There's no layer. Hasn't started... Oh, as I say that, he starts up the layer. So, unlikely to be a Queen Walk build at this point then. Yeah, he probably would have needed quicker gases to make that happen. Probably. He still theoretically could. There are some Queen Walk builds where you get a layer. to try and deal with a potential DT rush as a follow-up to deal with that queen walk. It's kind of a long comment chain of reasoning there. By the way, nice job from Trap. He hasn't gotten any damage done with this Oracle, really. But he does pick off a Creep Tumor there using a Revelation. That's a lot of energy expended to do so, but it's still a nice thing. Did something just die? I don't think so, but... Oh yeah, it was just an Adept shading back. Looks like killed off a couple of Serral's units. Trap going to be getting a Forge for some potential cannons, while he pumps out that double Stargate Void Ray, that Void Ray printer going burr. Going to be a Twilight Council coming down behind this. So he's going to start up that +1 weapon, so it's actually not going to be for cannons at all. Trap doing a good job of just keeping tabs on his opponent. Serral going to be throwing down a very quick Infestation Pit here. Likely going to be for an extremely fast hive. Will we see a Hydra Den shortly to try and get those Lurker upgrades? Well, to get into Lurkers and then start up the Lurker upgrades. Trap, is he going to let these finish? I was going to say, that'd be a little bit bold. A little bit bold. +1 missile on the way for Serral as well. We do have Charge also starting up for Trap. Trap, so far he's only used this Oracle... Oh, Adept's actually shaded away. Okay, I was like, that's confusing. He's only used this Oracle for clearing creep. And these Void Rays have also not found anything just yet. Serral sharking around with some Lings. He's going to be throwing down a Spire as well. Is this going to be... This isn't going to be for a quick Broodlord timing, is it? I don't think so, but it theoretically could be. There we go. We've got a Hive on the way. And still no Hydra Den, so... Broodlords are very much on the table. Meanwhile, Trap, he's going to be going into a robotics bay as well as a second robotics facility, as well as a good number of gateways here. Going to be going up to 8 gates. We'll be able to produce double disruptors, as well as now Templar Archives is on the way. Ooh, looks like... Oh, Trap got himself trapped with a probe and then actually builds a pylon and gets out of there. That's cute. Oracle looking for a revelation on the army. That is so many queens from Serral, by the way. He's got 10 queens, and they're pretty much... Yeah, they're all at the front. This really feels like he wants to hit some kind of timing with that. +1 Carapace. Okay, this is a really strange decision to me. Especially with just single Evo Chamber. Carapace upgrades are not the most effective against Protoss. They're good against Sky Toss. They're very, very good against Carriers, against Void Rays, things that have... low damage, high attack rate. But I'm a little bit surprised. A little bit surprised right here. They also actually pair very well with Microbial Shroud. Okay, there we go. We've got second Evo Chamber, +1 melee, Adrenal Glands, and it is going to be that Greater Spire. So it looks like we might see a Broodlord composition coming out of Serral here. For now, he is going to move across the map with some Lings and Roaches. But the Void Ray is going to be more than qualified to deal with that. We do have a... Ooh, nice job from Trap. Intercepts the Changeling that was dropped out of the Overseer. In terms of resources lost, not a lot has gone down for either player. Good number of Lings. You know, this is better for Trap, but not by a whole lot. The Oracle did go down, and that's a little bit unfortunate for Trap. Trap going to be sending out some Zealots on the top right side. Vipers coming in from Serral. And we got Bane Speed coming in from Serral as well. That's going to be good for dealing with High Templar, dealing with Zealots, doing run-bys in the later stages of the game, or really at any stage of the game, against Mineral Lines. Serral has not yet taken a 5th base, and that's a little bit surprising. He's going to be getting up into a bunch of Spores. I mean, he's already been on a good economy for a while, so... Yeah, he's been outmining his opponent significantly, and there we go. We'll start out that 5th base. Creep Spread looking great as well. Overseer going to try and get a Scout once again. Does see the double Robo. He wants to see if there's a Fleet Beacon transition, and he is going to see the exact timing on that. That is so good for Serral. Seeing this structure right here, this Fleet Beacon, and knowing that it's not done yet, that is going to fill Serral with glee as he starts up these Broodlords. For now, I think he is just going to stay defensive with them, especially since he's building Spores. But he could potentially try and hit some kind of timing. Before his opponent has, you know, a lot of Tempests or a lot of Carriers, especially if Trap doesn't know that there's a Greater Spire, which he has no idea. Carriers take a lot longer to build than Tempest. So, yeah, if Serral were to push right now, Trap would have an uncomfortable time dealing with it. Brood Lords take care of the Disruptors. Vipers and Queens deal with the Void Rays. And there's beyond that, there's not a whole lot from Trap here that deals with the tech that Serral has at the moment. But Serral, he is one of those players that is comfortable playing to the later stages. Nice little War Prism here from Trap, but Serral going to see it pretty much immediately. And he's getting a lot of Spine Crawlers at this base. He's already moving units in position to deal with this Trap. It's only a single prong attack, so it's not really... doesn't really represent that much threat. 2-2 going to start up for Serral. We've got Trap starting up his +3 weapons and his +2 air weapons. Meanwhile, Serral also on double Spire in a moment. How long does it take him to start up +1? Let's just I Spy with my little eye. Oh, not long at all. That was only about, what, 6 or 7 seconds? Ooh, this Observer, very fortunate for Trap, seeing the positioning of the Vipers here. Ooh, Mothership coming in from Trap as well. He's also got that Flux Veins upgrade. Look at that. Starting up 5 additional gateways. That's going to bring him up to 15. So this is something the Korean Protosses do enjoy doing. Having the access to transition very, very sharply into late game ground after a big attack, after a big fight. Serral does not yet have any static defenses on this left side. Does have a bunch of spores starting up. No Spine Crawlers, though. Ooh, that's cute. He just dropped Zealots on top of the Baneling to soak up a bunch of those Banelings. Meanwhile, Zergling's going to try and get in on top of this base. These are Adrenal Glands +1 melee Zerglings, but there's not enough of them, and the army of Trap was, well, too well positioned to let that get anything done. Serral is going to clean this up, by the way. No War Prism speed. No, there's not. Even if there was, probably wouldn't have gotten away. It wasn't even being controlled. But you can get that in the later stages. We are going to be seeing Pathogen Glands coming out for Serral. He's getting that Chitinous Plating, the bonus armor for Ultralisks. He's getting Burrow as well, which means that we're going to see Neural Parasite come down most likely in a little bit. Being able to Neural Parasite your opponent's high-tech units, very, very good. I like that Trap just pokes in, pokes forward, deals with some units, but Serral knows where the Void Rays are, and he says, okay, I'm attack on the right side then, or on the bottom side, I should say. But with the Mothership showing up, that cloaking field, very, very beneficial. A couple of static defenses did go down. Serral wants to trade these units out, but he also wants to do it cost efficiently. And he's going to be looking for a point where his opponent is committed to an attack or something. How many Spore Crawlers do we already have? We've already got 31 Spores. That is a lot of Spore Crawlers there. Zealots running into Queens. God, these Queens do not take much damage there. How many Queens are there, by the way? 15. 15 Queens, and they almost all have max energy. That is nutty. And now we've got 3-3 coming in for Serral. He's getting that Anabolic Synthesis, that Ultralisk speed upgrade. Going up into 2-2 for his air as well, so he's getting a really strong upgrade complement. Trap is getting that War Prism speed. He's getting shields coming down, 3 more Stargates. So both players, there's been very, very little action, relatively speaking, and a whole lot of powering up. Ooh, nice cancel and then burrow from Serral. Trap wants to threaten with this army. Both players starting to build a bit of a bank, but it's not crazy just yet. We do have the Observer showing up now, and I'm going to be able to clean up not just these roaches, but a little bit of creep. And Serral, I would say that was a successful... You know, it's expensive, but it was a successful trade. He does still get something done with that. All of the roaches do get cleaned up, though. War Prism on the bottom left side, going to look to get something done, but, I mean, there's no free supply. And that's just going to be a free pickoff for Serral. Tempest coming in for Trap as well. He's almost got that +1 shields. If we take a look at their upgrade status, no armor upgrades on either air or ground yet for Trap, whereas Serral on 2-1-2 and for the ground and 1-2 for the air, with +3 Carapace coming in, as well as 3/3 ground coming in. Neuroparasite about to complete. We are seeing Trap moving forward with this army. There is a move that Trap could theoretically make at some point where he sends the mothership, like, on the left side here. Zest has made this maneuver, and it's a really, really powerful one. Especially on, well, really on any map that once it gets towards the later stages, but on any map where there's important bases that are opposite corners of one another. Ooh, Ultralisk Ravager is going to move it on this base, and there's not a whole lot of defenses here for Trap. In fact, the Corruptors are going to come in and find these Void Rays. Yeah, Serral can just take down this base, and this is going to be a forced recall. That's a really nice move for Serral. That's going to mean Trap really can't be out on the map for probably in the next, like, 2-3 minutes until that comes off of cooldown, because anytime you take a fight into Serral, if you don't have the option to recall out, you could just lose everything. And, wow, Trap's actually just going to go for it. Ooh, we do see an Infestor. A little bit awkward right there. Does take some damage. Oh, that's a huge Disruptor shot coming in. Look at all the feedbacks on those Queens, draining so much energy right there. That is a big problem. Storm coming in on Queens is kind of laughably ineffective. High Templar dropping another Zoning Storm. Once again, Queens don't really give a hoot. How many Queens went down? 2 Queens. Oh, and this is the maneuver I was talking about. There is the mothership on the top right, going to recall the army over here. Disruptor's going to try and come on in. They will clip a Spine and a Spore. But Serral's got enough here to discourage Trap from coming on in. I was going to say, Trap, you got to be real careful with that mothership. Really, really careful. Zealots do find his base as Serral kind of scrambles to reposition. If we take a look at the banks, they're almost identical for both players. Only about 600 gas difference and 300 mineral difference between the two of them. Serral, though, has traded more efficiently in the last little bit. Well, in the entirety of this game. And this is a map where it's difficult to take a base away from your opponent. Ooh, DT's on the defensive, but we've got Serral with an Overseer here. He just picks off a couple more of these cannons and gets on out of here. Sees the transition into Immortals from Trap. I do like that Trap has done that. Serral, I'd love to see him just transfuse the ever-living hell out of this Ultralisk. Give it so much HP, it won't know. Wow, okay. That was like 3 transfuses and it's just full. Maybe 4? Actually, Battle Report can tell us. Oh, next battle in... Okay, it says 8 transfuses were used. That doesn't sound right. That sounds very wrong. Look at these Immortals. Just, you know, crab walking their way forward and killing off creep. That is so bold. It is important to note that Trap has pretty much secured all the bases on his side of the map. He's built a lot of static defenses at this top right base. It is going to be up to Serral to make sure he can secure these 2 bases here. These are very, very important. Very important. But he's not really in a rush as long as Trap doesn't take them from him. Oh, single DT coming on in. It does not have Blink yet, but it will very soon. We've almost got a full upgrade complement for the Zerg. Ooh, Zergling's going to find his base, but there are DTs, and they'll be able to save that. Oh, nice burrow. I mean, he only saves 2 Zerglings, but it's still cute. Fungal Growth could be very devastating on this army. Trap's in a really awkward position. Fungal Growth, Parasitic Bomb combo, and that is the recall that I was talking about that you need. Immortal goes down, but Trap gets out of there. When that could have very easily been a game-losing fight for Trap. That could have gotten really, really ugly very quickly. And if we take a look at the battle report, it still shows that Trap lost quite a lot of gas compared to his opponent. Almost no gas going down for Serral, a lot going down for Trap. Disruptor balls being fired out. Do clear out some of the static defenses, but we've already got Serral in a much better position. DTs do find this base, which is nice. And they've got their Blink upgrade. They could theoretically go for this Spore Crawler, but they're not going to do so. They will take out a single Spine and get on out of there. Oh, another recall coming on in. Oh, but Serral saw this. Oh my. But Serral saw this. He sees the mothership. That is really, really fortunate for Serral. And the storm comes down. Doesn't even hit all the changelings. That is comedic at best. Storm's going to come down. Will hit these corruptors a little bit. How many corruptors do we have? It's actually not that many, it feels like. Only 16 corruptors. Nice abduct coming in at minus 400, 400. Disruptor's going to fire their shots. I feel like Trap has to get out of here. He only has 2 High Templar, and they're all out of storm energy. These Broodlords are going to be able to force everything back. Trap should not be on the map right now. Like, definitely not. I like that Serral repositioned these spores, by the way, to give his army time to get back in position so he didn't just lose them for free. And now we've got DTs chasing, Ultralisks chasing DTs and Zealots. That is a good situation for Serral, I would say. +3 missile going to come in for Serral pretty soon. We've got Trap going up to +2 air armor, +3 shields. We're almost at all 5 upgrades for both players, maxed out at 3. All the races have 5 upgrades now. And if you get to 333, 33, it's, I mean, you know you're in for a long one. But there's no ground armor. No ground armor for Trap. Which means that if he ever does want to get into a late game ground tech switch, Zerglings are going to be really difficult to deal with. Honestly, anything's going to be difficult to deal with from Serral. These DTs. Oh, the transfuse. Serral losing so much HP on those queens. But because of all the queen energy that he had, he was able to deal with that no problem. I'm going to try and secure this base once again. Trap. Oh, the DT blink. Oh, that was very, very... that was a weird move from Trap. A super, super weird move. He gets 1 Infestor and loses 6 DTs. That's not worth it in the slightest. Not worth it in the slightest. And that resources loss differential is really starting to get out of hand. It's now up to 4,000 in favor of Serral. He is just... He's playing this out just much better than his opponent. He's really doing an excellent job of discombobulating Trap. Trap going to be trying to long-distance mine this base, but that's an optimistic thing to do in the face of, what, 5 Ultralisks and 15 Queens? Bunch of Infestors as well. We are going to see an attempted run-by coming in from Serral, or from Trap, but Serral going to deal with it. He abducts 1 of those Void Rays. Very well done. The Immortals. Okay, now this is a little bit awkward for Serral. Trap, though, is going to lose... He's going to lose 2 of the Immortals for 2 Ultras. That's a better trade for Trap. First one he's got in a while. Disruptors are the answer to this ground army. Ooh, nice nice Neural Parasite right there from Serral. But the Disruptors coming on in, getting a huge amount of Infestors. However, Trap kind of miscontrols there. He could have gotten, first of all, a lot more. And then second of all, almost wandered too far forward with the Disruptors. Almost got himself into trouble, but that brings the resources lost much closer. Much, much closer. Void Ray's trying to come on in to this base, but Serral answers it, forces the recall. Honestly, as Trap, like, don't even bother going after this base anymore. It's basically useless. Basically. Haha. Ooh, now these Zealots, if they find the Infestors, even just getting 1 is kind of good. Not quite worth it, but it's really good to get that at the very least. The Oracle almost going down. Now, recall is on cooldown. The fungal growth on these carriers is actually a big deal. He's going to be able to abduct 3 of them. And now the Broodlord's going to be able to find 2 High Templar. Oh, make it 3. 1 of which had a lot of energy. Serral might just be able to push into Trap right now. How many gateways are there on the map? 15, but 1 of them is going to be under threat. I'm really worried about Trap right now. He just built 6 more Void Rays at a time. He's got a gigantic bank, 6,000... 5,000 or 6,600, 5,500, and it feels like he doesn't know what to do with it. High Templar warping in. 1 of them, 2 of them will go down. That just justified the cost of the Ultralisk. If it got nothing else, just getting that warp in was worthwhile. Damn. Serral is playing this so goddamn well, and the resources lost is now up to 6,500 different. DT might find his base, but, well, to what end? It doesn't matter if it goes down. It's larva, I guess, but Serral's still got a lot of hatcheries on the map, and is completely mined out of resources. And there's a creep tumor next to it, so it's not even like it dissipates creep. Like, that's a... I'm really disappointed that Trap is continuing to try and push that location. Ooh, now this is a little bit awkward for him still. There's no recall available. If Trap gets caught here on creep, he could be in a lot of trouble. Nice nice abduct coming in from Serral. So far, Serral has just looked much more confident with the engagements. God, those zealots get obliterated so quickly. How many Void Rays do we have out on the map? Income advantage is quite substantial for Trap. Serral has struggled to get these bases on the bottom left set up, but I think this is the time where he's going to just be able to do so. Trap is staying back off of creep, which is good. Serral going to be slow sieging this base with a Broodlord, though, and it's... I don't know how Trap really pushes into this. Definitely can't push up a ramp, but that's going to be a dead base now. Good job from Serral. And the Broodlings, oh, they're going to get bottled up, so they will not find that. But we do see a bunch of feedbacks coming on in. Nice job from Trap. But the Fungal Growth Parasitic Bomb combo is going to be a ton. Now, the Disruptors do get some good shots, killing off 3 Infestors there. But the Fungal Growth Parasitic Bomb coming back in once again. Huge damage on those Void Rays. Recall comes down, but it's only going to save a couple of them. And now we've got an awkward, brutal route from Trap. He is getting completely destroyed here. And that resources lost that was before pretty bad for Trap is now disastrous for him. Yes, he's got a big bank, but he loses so much more than his opponent. Serral comes on in, finds 8 probes. Trap, I mean, he's getting annihilated right here. Look at how big of a difference that was in terms of resources lost. More than double, 2.5 times more efficient for Serral. Stalker's going to come on in, so it will be that ground transition. But like I said, oh no, he does actually have ground armor now. Oh, that's good. He's up to +2 ground armor. That's going to make Cracklings good, but not as good as they could be. Base goes down, killed, not canceled. Serral, his supply has never dipped in this game since he really got maxed. Trap, it feels like he has no answer to what Serral's doing. And he's going to get chased away by these units. Oh, the Fungal Growth. The Fungal Growth could be devastating. Does get 5 Stalkers right there. He's going to chain it. Will get 4 of the 5 killed off immediately. Now, we are going to see Trap chasing in on top of these Broodlords. That is a very, very bold move. And it will cost him a few Stalkers. How many Broodlords did he get there? 3? How many Stalkers did he lose in total? It actually doesn't even show. There's too many units have gone down. It's a 6-minute and 20 fight, apparently. 6 minutes and 20 seconds this fight has been going on continuously, even though there are different skirmishes. God, these players are just blazing away. Look at the speed from both of them. But more importantly, like I've been saying, look at that resources lost. Trap is just getting trounced here by the efficiency of Serral. Serral is playing like an absolute machine right now. So many probes have gone down in this game. 31 probes have actually gone down. We're going to see a lot of Spore Crawlers going down, but Trap, not microing the Void Ray, is going to be losing a couple of them to those Spores. And, I mean, it's good that he kills the Spores. Not good that he loses the Void Rays. You do not want to trade mineral structures for mineral and gas units. You know, unless it's like a Stalker dying for 15 Spore Crawlers, in which case... that's not so bad. Now, that was like 2 Void Rays, I think, for probably 7 Spores, which is a lot of cost for the Zerg, don't get me wrong. But it's also a lot of cost for the Protoss. Like, that's not ideal. God, that resources lost count is just getting worse and worse. Serral is playing so well. Trap really showing a strong tendency to be over-aggressive and just kind of hope that he can break his opponent. Now, that's a nice move. Picks off an Ultralisk. Well done. Ooh, and we're actually going to see Serral... you know, he gives up this position. He lost his base, and he hasn't even tried to retake it. Honestly, I don't blame him. There's not a lot of resources here. By the time you, like, spend the 300 minerals, it's barely worth it to do so. Ooh, he could have fungled that army. Will he go for it? He's building a layer. He's rebuilding the layer. Where is he building that? in the natural. What? That's a little bit confusing. Serral is going to find a couple of units on the bottom side. Blinky T's trying to get on out. Fungal Growth comes in. Will take down a few Stalkers. Trap wanting to move in with his main army. Serral's army is just much stronger, though. Huge Fungal Growth coming in. A lot of feedbacks on the Queens, but already too late as the Fungal had connected. And now we're going to see, the main army will show up. Nice run away from Trap, but the Microbial Shroud, or sorry, not the Microbial Shroud, the Parasitic Bomb, connecting it on top of these Void Rays, getting huge damage done, and Trap is just running out of steam and running out of money. Serral is absolutely annihilating his opponent. There's been so many recalls, and I feel like not really any of them have been good. Like, they've saved his army from annihilation, but they haven't been after important moves. They've been to prevent him from losing the game, not to allow him to win it. Now, this is a big concave for Trap, but Serral, he's got a lot of Broodlords here. Oh, big blink forward coming in from Trap. Will we see a Blinding Cloud? Yes, we will. Blinding Cloud, Fungal Growth, plus the Parasitic Bomb coming on in. The blink forward on top of the Broodlords is going to yield very useless results right there. Serral is just annihilating Trap here. Now, Trap will actually break through, but Serral's got such a gigantic bank. Actually, he needs to spend that bank. This fight went way better for Trap than I expected. And it was still better for Serral in the aggregate. In terms of actual resources lost, it still went better for Serral than for Trap. That being said, look at all these Broodlords coming in. If Trap can somehow prevent them from finishing, could get a little tough for Serral. But not going to be the case. Cracklings and Broodlings galore, taking down almost all the Stalkers. There's barely any anti-air. Trap's below 100 supply, with Serral maxing out, still has a bank, and has still mined less than his opponent. He's getting in on top of this base with a bunch of Zerglings. He's going to shut down the rest of the mining for Trap. The Warpin, not going to be enough for Trap to hold on. Serral will lose an Infestor right there. Trap might find a base of his own. Well, a base of Serral's. But this is over. There's a 100 army supply lead for Serral, and Trap is flat broke. He just spent all of his money on Warpins defending a base with no probes left at it. 18 more probes going down. Serral. Oh, he is going to trap these units. Ultralisks coming on in. The Stalkers blink out, but who gives a hoot? Archons, Zealots going down. Serral has been way too cost efficient. He's up 25,000 resources ahead very nearly. That is not the kind of thing you can make up for in a game of StarCraft 2 unless you have outmined multiple bases more than your opponent. The final Fungal Growth comes down. GG is called, and Serral takes an amazing slugfest of a game number one. What an amazing showing from the GOAT. Spawning down in the bottom left position of Jagannatha, it is the red Protoss player. Give it up for Trap, representing the Afrika Freaks. And his opponent, spawning up in the top right, it is Serral, representing ENCE Esports. In the blue, Serral just showing us textbook PvZ right there. Absolutely demolishing his opponent. Almost every engagement they took was better from Serral and was more efficient. There was maybe 2 engagements in that entire game where Trap was more efficient than his opponent. And that is the kind of thing that can permanently demoralize a player, or at least for the rest of the tournament. And I don't think Trap wants to go late game versus Serral anymore. After a game like that, I don't think you want to go late game versus a Zerg anymore. Like, you're just going to be feeling so nauseous about the concept of that. It is not something you're going to be wanting to do. Trap does force Serral, by the way, to be taking his third base as his natural, which is, you know, never what you want to do as a Zerg, but it's totally fine. Totally all good. Now, Serral, ooh, doing a good job of making this probe go away. Get out of here. Skedaddling. Now, if you're trapped, what do you do as the response? Like, Serral just shut everything down, and there was some creative attacks coming in from Trap, too. I would have loved to have, maybe, I guess Lightshade doesn't have that many options, but I would have loved to have seen maybe some more, like, Archon Zealot run-wise, or a more dedicated effort to deny Serral's creep spread. He did put some effort into it, but not enough to actually really get anything done, and Serral really never took damage to anything. Trap does open up. Ooh, it is going to be a Twilight Council this game. Okay. This is the kind of mix-up that I'm looking for. Oh, God. Oh, Trap. Oh, okay. That's how we know Trap is discombobulated. You should never lose that early probe. You should never lose that. And Serral just kills it. Just kills it straight up for free. That tells me that Trap is not in the best headspace going into this game number 2. And Serral, he is going to scout on in here. We'll see the Stalker. Does he turn around? No. Oh, he does. He does. Ooh, but Trap sees the Overlord. Will this Overlord escape? It's actually going to be a little bit close. I think it goes down, though. Oh, it's going to be really close. Overlords do take bonus damage from Stalkers. Oh, Serral will get chased to the side. No, that Stalker is too far to run. Serral will barely escape on out of here. 2 more hits would do it, though. Trap, not going to push his luck, not going to go for it. Now, this is going to be 4-gate Resonating Glaives, but with no robotics facility. This is a little bit different, and he might just take a quick 3rd Nexus with this. That's what it's looking like. Serral does have a bunch of Zerglings on patrol, keeping an eye on things. He builds the Roach Warren at his 3rd base as if to wall it off. That is so funny. What a strange move. Serral scouts his opponent's 3rd Nexus, and that's good information for him. That's really, really good information. He doesn't know what's coming yet, though. Trap could show up with just, like, 13 Adepts at a super random timing, and Serral might have a really difficult time dealing with it. In fact, Trap is not building probes right now. Oh, he is not building probes at all. He is putting all of his money into Adepts. He does have the robotics facility to follow this up. This is a really interesting build from Trap. Okay, he starts probe production back up. But yeah, this is a very, very cool little opener from Trap, and Serral might have kind of fallen for it a little bit. He hasn't over-droned, but he doesn't have any units on the map that can really fight against these Adepts efficiently. No Roaches, it's just the Zerglings. Now, that being said, there's only 7 Adepts here. Trap gets into a nice position in his corner. Serral does have the surround, will be able to take down 3 of the Adepts right away, and a 4th one is going to take some damage here. Serral losing 2 drones. Not so bad. Trap showing up with more Adepts here, and he's warping an additional Adept, sending them across the map. Serral still hasn't built any Roaches yet. There we go. Finally starts up 4 Roaches here. Trap, I was going to say, yeah, you do not want to commit in there. This is like such a weird kind of middle-of-the-road build. So Trap is looking to get a little bit of damage done and then transition out of this and build 3 probes at a time, chrono the hell out of his Nexi, and just be in a good position. But Serral is not letting himself take too much damage, and I really like the fact that he didn't build Roaches early, because he didn't really need them. He did not really need them. Trap going to try and get something done with a War Prism full of Adepts. This is such a unique approach to trying to deal with Serral. Look at this, he's still only on 2 gases, and he's still, I mean, he's like building a couple probes now, but hasn't been doing so for a long time. He's been really focusing on army production, and Serral is doing the same. I do like this double Adept kind of setup here. Right now, Trap's army, despite the fact that it's a little bit higher in army value, it's not actually that good. Serral getting up into a Spire as well, and he's got Roach Speed halfway done. +1 missile starting up now. Trap going to try and sneak on into the natural expansion. Will Serral be prepared? Of course he will. He is Serral. Trap, as soon as he sees that, gets on out of here. Only 2 drones have gone down, and they barely went down. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Serral does have the opportunity. Will find these 2 adepts in the middle of the map. There are more adepts looking. Oh man, what a motley crew attack. I don't think I like this. If Trap commits, I feel like Serral just... Well, Trap is committing. He only built a couple probes. He's only on 45 probes. Yeah, this is a heavy commitment from Trap. Serral. Yeah, adepts are good, but only to a certain point. And Trap just... Well, Serral's just standing and fighting. The Queen's tanking so much damage here, so much transfuse energy. Now, there are a lot of adepts here. A couple of corrosive vials getting stuff done. We do have Spore Crawler moving forward, forcing that War Prism back. Very, very nicely done from Serral. As well, he also built a wall. This was so expertly defended from Serral. God, he is so damn good. Even predictive corrosive vials coming in. Kills an immortal Trap. A little bit sloppy on the micro right there. He is very far behind in supply right now. Will shade forward with these adepts. Splits them up and is going to try and cause chaos in the main and natural expansion. Serral already cleans up the main. He's already killed... He's going to clean up the natural too. Everything goes down for Trap. And Serral, once again, gets caught flat-footed and deals with it perfectly. Trades better than Trap. How does he do it? This is a Serral that is playing as well as we saw him in 2018. If not better. He might actually be playing better than them. Because this was so tricky out of Trap and really, really difficult to deal with. And Serral just swatted it away like it was nothing. Even the Spore Crawler movement is so good right there, forcing that War Prism away. And even during all this, look, he's going to scout. He's going to be able to drop a Contaminate on the robotics facility. That's a wasted Chrono Boost. That's a wasted lot of robotics facility construction time. Serral is too good. How are you allowed to be this good? By the way, Spire was canceled to get him more money. That's why he was able to afford more of those Ravagers there. I banned Serral from being this good. I have to ban him. You have to ban someone from being this good at the game. He even canceled +1 missile, knowing that it wouldn't be done in time and that his opponent was super all in. Serral makes so many good decisions in the heat of the moment, and now he's getting up into 9 mutas. Trap, did he scout the Spire? No, he didn't. But he is going double Stargate in response. It's going to be too late, though. He's going to be able to start Phoenixes as the mutas are popping out. And this War Prism, not even going to scout those mutas. This is a 40 army supply lead for Serral. He is all over Trap right now. We've got Bane Speed coming in. We've got +1 flyer attacks. We've got that +1 missile going to be finishing up in about 15 seconds. +1 melee. Not too far behind. Maybe about 35, 40 seconds away. And these mutas, yeah, they're going to show up as the Phoenixes basically pop out. There's a cannon coming on down. Trap senses what Serral's going for. He knows that mutas are a great move right now. But there's a reason they're a great move. It's because they're probably going to get 10, 15 probe kills. And Trap is already in a tough position. I love this. Serral just flies right by. Says, I want to get harassment damage with these done. I'm not trying to win the game. I am trying to put myself further and further ahead. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to kill one of the Phoenixes with some splash damage from the mutas. Already 8 probes going down. Oh my god, Serral is too good at this game. Oh, and he finds the second Phoenix, which means the mutas can now camp between these bases. There's enough of them that they can ignore this shield battery, and they're gonna get so much damage done. Serral, meanwhile, is getting ready to push at the front. He's maxed out. He is way up in army supply and army value. Yeah, the Phoenixes will push the mutas away. He only lost 2 mutas, though. 11 probes, 2 Phoenix for 2 mutas. Huge, gigantic damage. And this is going to be Trap seeing this army coming. There's a Disruptor on the way. It's not out yet. It'll be out momentarily, but it's not going to be enough. Even if Serral stacks his army up into the Purification Nova, which, by the way, he doesn't have to do. He can split against that. Oh, and he does take some big Baneling shots. Only 5 kills on that Disruptor. The Immortals are going to get swamped. The whole army gets swamped. Serral's up 100 supply, and he is going to crush Gemini's favorite player, Serral. Absolutely annihilating Trap in that series. Not a single engagement did Trap win. by a big margin. There was really only 2, maybe 3 engagements that went, you could even say, okay for Trap. Everything else was domination out of Serral.